live and direct from the Golden State. It's intelligent talk media, the Denice Gary Show. Now, here's Denice Gary.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Happy No Collusion, Happy No Obstruction Day. Yay! Okay, so there I was Sunday, having a little lunch there, and I started tweeting out. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter. I hope everybody will like and follow me on Twitter. Go to the number 4, @4 new mid MID East EAST number 4 new NEW mid MID East. So this is what I was tweeting out a lot yesterday. So the first thing I tweeted out, I wanted to let you know, hallelujah and congratulations at real Donald Trump, who told Americans 231 times, 231 times there was no collusion. Mueller report also tells us no American was involved in colluding with Russians, and that indeed at President of the United States, or I put at POTUS, is not involved in obstruction of justice because there was no crime. So the bottom line is this: if you say, why is it that he's not involved in obstruction of justice when Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller said that he was going to not move forward to make a conclusion on that. I'll get to that in a minute. I wanted to share out some of the things that I tweeted out because I think it's really important. But bottom line, there cannot be obstruction of justice, ladies and gentlemen, when there's no crime to obstruct to obstruct justice with regards to. I mean, if you don't have an underlying crime, how can there be obstruction of justice in order to find or in order to present all your findings with respect to the crime? There just can't, right? You understand that? Okay, did I say that very clearly? I'm not sure I did. How could Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller say that there was obstruction of justice when there was no underlying crime? That's the bottom line. Okay, so I tweeted that out to the president, among other things. And then I said number 2, because right after the president came out and said this, let's go to the president's clip. This is what the president said when he got the news on Sunday. This was around 1:46 Sunday afternoon.
So after a long look, after a long investigation, after so many people have been so badly hurt, after not looking at the other side, where a lot of bad things happened, a lot of horrible things happened, a lot of very bad things happened for our country. It was just announced there was no collusion with Russia, the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. There was no collusion with Russia. There was no obstruction, and none whatsoever. And it was a complete and total exoneration. It's a shame that our country had to go through this. To be honest, it's a shame that your president has had to go through this before I even got elected. It began. And it began illegally. And hopefully somebody's going to look at the other side. This was an illegal takedown that failed. And hopefully somebody's going to be looking at the other side. So it's complete exoneration, no collusion, no obstruction. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Representative Jerry Nadler came out after the president made this statement. and Representative Jerry Nadler in the Congress, who wants to investigate Trump every which way and upside down, came out and in his press conference, he said that President Trump was a liar and that it was unconscionable that President Trump said he was totally exonerated. Well, he was. Because I want you to consider this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the transcript from the Attorney General. Can people see that? This is from the Attorney General. A little higher. Little higher.
Yep, got it.
Okay. So this is from the Attorney General of the United States of America, Attorney General Barr. And this is what he said. Now, this was released March 24th, yesterday, before the president came out and said, I've been totally exonerated. So, and I'm going to just quote, I'm just going to read you this bit of the transcript, again, from our Attorney General Barr. He says, talking about the special counsel's report, Attorney General Barr states, the report explains that the special counsel and his staff, now remember, he hired nothing. This is Robert Mueller, our special prosecutor, hired only Democrats, right? He didn't put together a team of balanced individuals where maybe half were Democrats and half Republicans. Robert Mueller put together a support team of attorneys, bulldogs, Democrats that would go after this president. Because remember, Robert Mueller had just asked President Trump for a job, and President Trump had turned him down. So a little bit of bad blood there. So the Attorney General of the United States, William Barr, writes, the report explains that the special counsel and his staff thoroughly investigated allegations that members of the presidential campaign of Donald J. Trump and others associated with it conspired with the Russian government in its efforts to interfere in the 2016 U.S. presidential election or sought to obstruct the related federal investigations. In the report, the special counsel noted that in completing his investigations, he employed, get this, 19 lawyers. Again, these were not Republican lawyers. 19 lawyers who were assisted by a team of approximately 40 FBI agents, intelligence analysts, forensic accountants, and other professional staff. The special counsel issued more than 2,800 subpoenas, executed nearly 500 search warrants, obtained more than 230 orders for communication records, issued almost 50 orders authorizing use of PIN registers, made 13 requests to foreign governments. 13 requests to foreign governments for evidence, and interviewed approximately 500 witnesses. All of this to investigate what? The allegations that members, this was the allegation, by a phony Christopher Steele dossier bought and paid for by Hillary Rodham Clinton. Allegations, this was all done over allegations that members of the presidential campaign of Mr. Trump and others associated with it conspired with the Russian government to interfere in the 2016 U.S. election. So all of that was stated, and then with respect it says that the report further explains that a primary, and I'm quoting from the report by William Barr, Attorney General, the report further explains that a primary consideration for the special counsel's investigation was whether any Americans, including individuals associated with the Trump campaign, joined the Russian conspiracies to influence the election, which would be a federal crime. The special counsel's investigation did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with Russia in its efforts to influence the 2016 U.S. presidential election. As the report states, quote, the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities. And it goes on to say that the special counsel did not find that any U.S. person or Trump campaign official or associate, did you catch that? That did not find that any U.S. person, in other words, they couldn't find a single American. Wow! They couldn't find a single American, nor President Trump, nor anyone associated with President Trump who conspired or knowingly coordinated with the Internet Research Agency of Russia to conduct a disinformation and social media operation with respect to the U.S. presidential elections. So, what happened? The special counsel brought criminal charges against a number of Russian nationals and entities in Russia connected to this. But how many Americans were indicted or arrested? Not a single American. Of course, Flynn and Manafort and others have been broken financially. Some serve time or in jail right now today in prison. But they had absolutely nothing to do with the collusion, which would have been a federal crime, to in some way overturn or in any way, and I want to read it exactly the way it's stated here, in any way was involved in influencing the election through a Russian conspiracy. That's the bottom line. So when the president says, Representative Jerry Nadler, that he's been totally exonerated, he has. So I tweeted out to Representative Jerry Nadler, unconscionable that at Rep. Jerry Nadler calls for unfiltered release of Mueller report. It is, well, and this is the other issue. The Democrats want the whole report completely in its entirety released. You can't do that because there's lots of nice, innocent people there that were associated with the Trump campaign. And again, as the report points out, there was not any, special counsel did not find that any U.S. person or Trump campaign official or associate conspired or knowingly coordinated with Russian efforts to influence the 26th election. You don't want to bring out the names of, Joe Blow and Mrs. Joe Blow that might have worked for 10 minutes for the Russian campaign that were subpoenaed and had to testify. You don't want to do that. Again, remember, this special counsel, how many people did they interview? 500 people. Request to 13 governments. 500 search warrants, 2,800 subpoenas, 19 lawyers and 40 FBI agents were working at this, and I've heard that the U.S. taxpayer spent 25, some reports say 30, some reports say as high as $40 million U.S. taxpayers spent because the Democrats were in search of a federal crime that they could tie to President Trump after. And I know Democrats say, well, that Christopher Steele dossier started with a Republican. It may have started with a Republican, but ladies and gentlemen, it in the middle and the end was all about Hillary Rodham Clinton and her campaign trying to dig up dirt, couldn't find any, had an ex-British spy write a propaganda piece, again, bought and paid for by Hillary Rodham Clinton, that Obama appears to have known about it, that Eric Holder appears to have known about it, that a lot of people in the Obama administration seem to know quite a bit about it. when we get back, I want you to hear what was done by Hunter Biden, that's Joe Biden's son, and Hillary Rodham Clinton and Ukraine, because right now, get this, you're going to hear a Ukrainian special prosecutor talk about, I have it on tape, talk about, this is Ukraine's top prosecutor, divulging in an interview aired last Wednesday about how Hillary Rodham Clinton was working on trying to get dirt, not just on Trump, but on then Trump's campaign chairman, Paul Manafort. And of course, that's a crime in the Ukraine. We'll get into it after break. There's so much more to share out on this, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait. We'll be right back.
I want to tell you about a place I love to go, Frugatti's Italian Restaurant. Very few locations here provide seating outside in front of a fabulous water fountain with an atmosphere that is reminiscent to me of eating outdoors in Venice. This is real Italian food by real Italians. And what makes it even more so is owner Ralph Frugoletti, who nearly a quarter century ago brought a wood fire oven from Milan, Italy to make, like his mother, fresh homemade bread and pizzas. Moreover, Frugatti's Restaurant offers you not only the very best in Southern Italian cooking, even importing the finest ingredients for authentic Italian food, including a fitness menu. After all, Ralph has represented the United States and Italy, competing in the Master Championship Games. He knows all the right food for good fitness, so check out the menu. After today's broadcast, run over to Frugatti's Italian Restaurant and Catering at 600 Coffee Road here in Bakersfield. And after a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday service, stop into Frugatti's for a great lunch. I'll see you there, and tell Mr. Ralph Frugoletti that Denice sent you. Salute. Buon appetito.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to legal matters, contact Barr Reynolds. She is a contract paralegal to lawyers, and she will take good care of you. Moreover, she is a Kern County legal document assistant to pro per litigants. She has 47 years of paralegal experience, and for over 30 years has been an educator in the field of law and paralegal work. If you need help handling your adoption, bankruptcy, civil suit, divorce, debt consolidation, evictions, immigration, or attorney referrals, contact Barb Reynolds if you want to win your case. Call Tehachapi Court Services today at 661-822-1994. Barb is simply the best. Call Tehachapi Court Services today at 661-822-1994.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so thrilled I've got the owner of Scope 365 Fitness here with me today, Craig Jansen, Navy veteran. Craig, tell the audience out there why everybody in town needs to come up over here and join.
Well, Scope 365 is a 24-hour club, so we never close, unlike a lot of other clubs here in town. Additionally, our club is always super clean, and one of the things that you're going to find here is a different environment where we strive to give you a VIP experience here. So we want to get to know you, we want to know your story, we want to know about you and how we can help you succeed and meet all of your fitness goals.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, come on down to Scope 365 Fitness. You're located right here on Brim Hall. Tell us your other locations.
We have another location up in Tehachapi, and then our third location here in town is also located over on Chester and Columbus in the Food Mac Shopping Center.
Thank you so much, Craig. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Sculpt 365 Fitness, they're on Brimhall Road at Callaway. Give Navy veteran Craig Jansen, the owner, give him a call, 661-679-7116, 661-679-7116, and say, hey, Craig Jansen, Navy veteran, I want to support our veterans of America. I want to sign up at your gym. And thank you so much. I heard on the Denice Gary show today that it's 0% to enroll. Absolutely, I don't have to pay a dime to enroll, and it's half off for the first 6 months. Dues for each and every month for the first 6 months are half off. So let's go to Scope. Can everybody see it? Scope 365. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now. So I wanted to get back to what I tweeted out to after I said hallelujah and congratulations, Mr. President, and saying that no American was involved, the president was involved, nobody from the White House was involved. There was no crime. They looked for a crime for two. Do you realize that? Do you realize what it all? Of course you do. Of course you realize. For the last 2.5 years, the Democrats looked for a crime, and they had no problem paying between $25 to $40 million to Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller. They were looking for a crime. They didn't have an underlying crime, which to me says they never should have gotten a FISA warrant, which says to me also, as it does I'm sure to you, we need to investigate those judges and what happened. Those corrupt FBI officials that went to those judges to get the FISA warrants 4 times. 4 times. They went to a FISA judge to get a warrant saying, oh, we have a national security concern with respect to candidate Trump and then later President Trump. We have a national security concern and we need a FISA warrant. 4 times they did that. And ladies and gentlemen, 4 times they got it. We've got to hold those accountable. We need to hold those people accountable. Who did that? Who paid? We know Hillary Rodham Clinton paid, and we'll get to some other things in just a moment, but it's not good enough for the Democrats. So I said to Representative Jerry Nadler, unconscionable, that at Rep. Jerry Nadler calls for unfiltered release of Mueller report. It's illegal, and there is hashtag no obstruction because there was no hashtag crime. Again, I want to read to you exactly what William Barr, the Attorney General of the United States, who's had years of experience and also has been an AG in this country before, he pointed out that generally speaking, quote, to obtain and sustain an obstruction conviction, the government would need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a person was acting with corrupt intent and engage in obstructive conduct with a sufficient nexus to a pending or contemplated proceeding. Well, there was no sufficient nexus to a pending or contemplated proceeding. Remember what I said in my tweet. When there's no crime, there can't be obstruction of justice. The president is not and was not going to be brought up on criminal charges. There was no nexus to a pending or contemplating proceeding. Without a criminal proceeding lodged against the president, how could he have committed obstruction of justice? That's my point. No crime, no obstruction. And that's why the president said that he was totally exonerated. But Nadler called him a liar, and I'm saying that that's unconscionable. And then I said, and we need, ladies and gentlemen, here in California to fire Speaker Pelosi. She's from California. I wrote, and hashtag Nadler, hashtag Demo KKK rats are anti-Israel, anti-American, and I put at Fox News fire Donna Brazile and Chris Wallace. Did you hear Chris Wallace obstruct former Congressman Chavez? I believe he was a former congressman from Utah, who was trying to point out why there was no obstruction of justice. And Chris Wallace was saying, no, we're not going to go there. I just couldn't believe it. Anyway, so I'm with the president and vice president. What did Vice President Mike Pence say? Vice President Mike Pence said yesterday, Sunday, as well. He said, today is a great day for America. President Trump and our entire administration. After 2 years of an investigation and reckless accusations by many Democrats and members of the media, the special counsel has confirmed what President Trump said all along. There was no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia during the 2016 election. Do you realize, ladies and gentlemen, if you think about all the things that President Trump has done vis-a-vis Russia, when you think about really tough sanctions that President Trump has put on Russia and put on so many individuals within the Russian government's hierarchy. I mean, that oligarch there that's controlling Russia, and President Putin, and so many specific individuals have been heavily sanctioned. This president has been aggressive, far more aggressive than Obama ever was or could hope to be. I mean, Obama, talk about a weak president. He never really supported our national security interests. The only thing he ever did was, and it's because the American people, and I think people within the intelligence areas were begging him to do, was take out Osama bin Laden. And Obama finally gave the green light to take out Osama bin Laden, finally. But anyway, President Trump has been far tougher, and I think what needs to be done next is that we have to find out exactly who started it and who paid for it. I want you to play Rudy Giuliani and Jay Sekulow. I think Rudy Giuliani and Jay Sekulow are both on this clip. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're being interviewed by CNN. I'm not going to play the CNN host. I don't think the CNN hosts come into play because they're so obnoxious and they get on my nerves. By the way, remind me to go back to Donna Brazile being hired by Fox News. I want to say something about that. But let's play Giuliani. And Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York City during the tragic 9/11 events, and Jay Sekulow, who, by the way, works very hard behind the scenes to help free Christians that are being tortured and are imprisoned for their faith around the globe. Let's play that clip.
Well, I'm here with Jay Sekulow, my co-counsel, and we've had a chance to quickly go through it. We think it's a complete exoneration of the president. Certainly, it's quite clear no collusion of any kind, including the entire Trump campaign, which kind of raises the question, why did this ever start in the first place?
And then as to the obstruction, Wolf, the key there is that the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General made the conclusion that you don't have obstruction when there's no underlying crime. And I think that we've said from the outset that this was a situation where there was no collusion, there was no obstruction, and now we have the weight of the Department of Justice agreeing with us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm with the President and Vice President Pence and the entire Trump administration. As Vice President Mike Pence said yesterday, Sunday, this total vindication of the President of the United States and our campaign should be welcomed by every American who cherishes the truth and integrity. Mike Pence is exactly right. If you cherish the truth and integrity, why wouldn't you embrace this, Democrats? In the days ahead, the American people can be confident that the President and our entire administration will continue to focus where we always have on the issues most important to our country. We can only hope that Democrats, who have spent so much time on these discredited allegations, will join us to advance an agenda that will make our nation even more prosperous and more secure for every American. But that's not what we're hearing from the Democrats at all. We're hearing just the opposite. We're hearing just the opposite from every Democrat. And so I just want to say we need to go back to, and I took some notes here, we need to go back to President Barack Obama. We need to go back to Hillary Rodham Clinton. We need to go back to the FBI. We need to go back to those FISA judges. And Barr, William Barr, our Attorney General, needs to find out who needs to be held accountable for initiating, and I think about Rob Rosenstein. I wrote this down. Rob Rosenstein told President Trump he ought to fire James Comey, the director of the FBI, for all of his shenanigans, for saying that Hillary Rodham Clinton was guilty and then not initiating, allowing the DOJ to initiate a criminal investigation. So getting to the bottom of it would mean a criminal probe of Comey and his former deputy, Andrew McCabe, a criminal probe, along with others in the leadership ranks. Think about it. Rosenstein told President Trump, where did I write this down, to fire FBI Director James Comey, and then, like within 7 or 8 days later, where are my notes on this? Basically, then it was the same Rosenstein who said, okay, now we need to look into allegations against President Trump as to why he fired Comey. That really bothers me. Rosenstein tells the president, fire Comey, and then within, I believe it was 7 or 8 days, I don't know, here it is. So Rosenstein urged Comey to be fired in May of 2017, then 8 days later mysteriously decided the action warranted a special investigation from outside the Justice Department. See, the Justice Department could have handled this, but Rosenstein said there needed to be a special prosecutor. Why is that? I don't understand it. A lot of people, Democrats, wanted Comey fired. As soon as Comey was fired, it's like, let's investigate Trump. And we can't have the Justice Department do it. We've got to hire a special prosecutor to do it and pay him millions of dollars. I don't understand that. What was that all about? Do we play the Giuliani clip?
Yes.
Okay, so that's running around, I'm sure in your mind and my mind. I know it's running around in my mind. And then I read that Hunter Biden received $3.1 million in Ukraine. And I'm thinking, I know that Hillary Rodham Clinton sold Ukraine a lot of U.S. uranium. For what? I'm not sure. To get their cooperation on what? To dig up dirt, to help, because Russia was backing Ukraine during the Obama administration. Not now, but during the Obama years, it was Russia and Ukraine. And Hillary Rodham Clinton was working with Russia and Ukraine, and it was ooey gooey, mwah, mwah, mwah. And so, Ukraine's top prosecutor divulged in an interview last Wednesday that he had opened up an investigation into whether his country's law enforcement during that period of time when Russia was all involved, and Hillary Rodham Clinton and Barack Obama and Biden, whether into his country's law enforcement apparatus that apparently intentionally leaked financial records during the 2016 presidential campaign about President Trump and his chairman Paul Manafort in an effort to sway the election in favor of Hillary Rodham Clinton. So, 2016 U.S. presidential campaign, then Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Apparently, the Ukrainian law enforcement apparatus leaked information. And so his agency wants to find out. It said in a tape that this is a serious enough allegation to warrant opening a probe. And one of his concerns is that Ukrainian law enforcement agency involved had frequent contact with the Obama administration's U.S. embassy in Kiev at the time, and that they were involved in Russia's influence in the United States. And apparently the FBI, also corrupt FBI, set up shop in the U.S. Embassy in Kiev to assist in the Ukraine Manafort inquiry Interesting. And they know that the Clinton campaign was using a law firm to pay opposition research firm for Steele's work, while at the same time Steele was being paid by the FBI. Wow. Hillary Rodham Clinton was running for president, and her campaign was paying Christopher Steele to dig up dirt on Trump and Manafort and everybody associated with the Trump campaign, it sounds like. At the same time, the FBI is paying this former UK British spy for information on people tied to President Trump and perhaps President Trump. Do you realize that's illegal? That's a federal crime. Clinton, Obama, top FBI officials, Christopher Steele. Let's play that clip.
The NABU official is captured saying he was trying to help Hillary Clinton by releasing the Paul Manafort Black Ledger files in Ukraine.
It seems to me that Washington did not sleep tonight because yesterday evening, during your night, I just got an appropriate information from the member of parliament. Yes, according to the member of parliament of Ukraine, he got the court decision that the NABU official conducted an illegal intrusion into American election campaign. It means that we speak that Mr. Sitnik, the NABU director, officially told about criminal investigation with Mr. Manafort, and in the same time Mr. Sitnik stressed that in such a way he wanted to assist the company of Ms. Clinton. And this member of parliament even attached the audio tape where several men, one of which had a voice similar to the voice of Mr. Sitnik, discussed the matter.
Given that information, is that the same NABU director that also chose to shut down part of the investigation into Burisma? Same office, same person?
Yes, this is the same director who was personally congratulated by Mr. Biden when he was selected as the chief of NABU. It's the same director who closed the file against Burisma. It's the same director who revealed criminal case information regarding Mr. Manafort. And this is the same director who complained about head of Special Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, Mr. Holodnitsky, who's...
So, ladies and gentlemen, in this interview, I know it's hard to hear this individual from Ukraine. I mean, he has it's difficult to understand him, but he accused, and we can't play the whole interview, it's too long, but he basically accuses the Obama-era U.S. Embassy in 2016 of interfering in his ability to prosecute corruption cases. Can you believe it? President Obama and his team, according to the special prosecutor in Ukraine, says that the Obama U.S. Embassy interfered in his ability to prosecute corruption cases, and said in that interview that the U.S. ambassador gave him a list of defendants that he would not be allowed to question or pursue, and then refused to cooperate in an early investigation into the alleged misappropriation of U.S. aid to Ukraine. Now, I want you to think of Biden. I want you to think of Hunter Biden's son, who was living and working there. I want you to think about Hillary Rodham Clinton. I want you to think about President Obama. I want you to think about the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine under Obama. It's this special prosecutor, his name is Lutsenko, says that apparently this guy gave the U.S. a list of the names, and the U.S. official now has this list of individuals that he was told to stand down. So the special prosecutor in Ukraine was told to stand down by the U.S. ambassador on investigating a misappropriations of fund case. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. Corrupt Democrats trying to say that our president committed a crime for 2.5 years. Special prosecutor says, no, he didn't commit a crime. Sorry, he didn't commit a crime. And are Democrats happy about that today? No, they are not. And you know what really ticks me off is I heard Donna Brazile. She was the scandalous woman who worked for, very supportive of Hillary Rodham Clinton's candidacy. Remember 2016? What was her situation? She was the former interim Democratic National Committee chairperson and a longtime CNN commentator, but then she was fired from CNN in 2016. Says CNN forced Ms. Brazile to resign as an on-air contributor in October of 2016 because her emails revealed that she told Hillary Rodham Clinton's aides questions that were likely to be asked by CNN moderators during the debates and town hall meetings. So, here she is, Donna Brazile, former DNC chairperson and a CNN commentator, tipping off, telling aides to Hillary Rodham Clinton, possibly Hillary Rodham Clinton herself, possibly not, but giving her team information on questions that were being asked. Trump wasn't given a heads up on questions that were going to be asked ahead of time, but Clinton was given a heads up. So she's spending all this money trying to make sure Trump loses, on top of getting help from CNN, from CNN's crew, about questions that were going to be asked. I mean, why isn't Hillary Rodham Clinton sitting in prison? I want to know the answer to that. I want to know why this investigation happened in the first case. Why was Rosenstein telling Trump, fire Comey, and the next thing you know, he said, well, let's hire a special prosecutor to find out why Trump fired him. Was he being paid by Hillary Rodham Clinton as well? So why, and this is what I want to know. I want to know why Fox News hired Donna Brazile, a woman that was tipping off Hillary Rodham Clinton. So can we all tweet out, because I think Brett Baer at Special Report is behind it, Shepard Smith, another Democrat at Fox News, Chris Wallace, who never has a good thing to say about President Trump and is always belittling President Trump and allowing people on his Fox News Sunday at 11 to belittle President Trump. Why aren't these Democrats? I mean, if I want to listen to what some dirty, corrupt Democrat has to say about anything, I'm going to turn the channel to CNN, which I did on Sunday, to find out what they say. And they're long. Oh, my. They look so sad and depressed. Oh, my goodness. And Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler, we're going to keep investigating. Oh, thank God we've got that investigation in New York. Thank God. We're going to keep going. Never fear, we're on the job. You know, Fox News, let me give you a heads up, and I hope all of you tweet at Fox News Sunday, at Brett Baer, at Shepard Smith, at Fox News Alert. Say, you know, if we want to listen to what the dirty, corrupt Democrats have to tell us about anything, about how we need to murder our infants, you know, after they've been literally delivered, and just leave them to die there on some hospital gurney. If we want to hear what Democrats have to say about how we shouldn't have a strong military defense and have them ridicule the president after trying to speak to the chairman of North Korea in order to end the threat of nuclear weapons from a madman, if we want to hear Democrats talk about how the president of the United States isn't doing everything he can to help preserve and do wildlife conservation, which is a lie. I mean, if we want to hear the lies of the Democrats, all we have to do is turn on CNN or MSNBC or ABC or CBS or NBC. I mean, we don't need Fox News to hire a corrupt liar like Donna Brazile, the former DNC chair, who was fired by CNN. What's Fox News thinking about? We don't need Mike Wallace's son, Chris Wallace, to put down members of the Trump administration every time they get on his program on Sunday. I don't need to hear Shepard Smith ridicule the president. Tell Fox News, Fox News, you can be, what do you call it when you just walk away from Fox News? What would that be? That would be like a ban on Fox News. That would be
Mass exit.
Mass exit. I can't think of the right word at the moment, but anyway, I'm getting a headache. But we're going to go to a break here pretty soon. Bottom line, we need to get the word out to Fox News. What were you thinking? You obviously weren't thinking when you hired a scandal-ridden Donna Brazile. But I guess, maybe Fox News is playing the identity card. I realize she's a woman, and she's a black woman. If you want to, ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has more women working for him than Obama had working for him. And he has people of color working for him as well. So, why don't you get Ben Carson or other people on there, people that are extremely intelligent and have a lot to contribute to our country and to the Trump administration? Why don't you get on the extremely intelligent, fabulous people working for President Trump, if that's your concern? But we could care less that Sean Hannity's complaining that the Democrats the DNC is saying they're not going to allow Fox News to run the debates. The Democrat, who cares? I don't want to watch the Democrats debate. I couldn't care less to see them lie to one another and lie to the country. I don't even want to watch it. Fox News, Sean Hannity, Chris Wallace, Brett Baer, Martha McCallum. You know what we want you to do here in America? We want you to bring back Judge Jeanine on Saturday and Sunday. Bring her back. Keep Tucker Carlson. That's what we want you to do. We don't want you to start playing politically correct games. That's why we turn to you. But we don't need to turn to you at all. We can just turn to Talk Radio and the Denice Gary Show to get our news. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Denice Gary Show. We'll be right back.
Trump has correctly stated that economic security is national security. And in the Tehachapi Mountains of Kern County resides a United States defense contractor, Anates Products. Here is the Silicon Valley of the aerospace industry, right here in East Kern. Anates Products is a forward-leaning manufacturer and distributor of hardware sold to major defense and aerospace companies. We're talking about Boeing, Lockheed Martin, United Technologies, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon General Electric, and on the list list goes, as well as to every United States ally worldwide, including Israel, America's most important strategic ally in the Middle East. And for everything that flies, Anatase Products is providing the parts. And with me today is the president of Anatase Products, Scott Baker. Hi, Scott.
How you doing?
Scott, tell us why you believe this corner of Kern County is the hub of the aerospace industry.
Well, this portion of Southern California here out in the Antelope Valley, it contains, some of the most cutting edge technology going on in aviation today. We have some of the UCAS programs with unmanned technologies going on. We have Edwards Air Force Base out here who's doing continual testing in their area. We have the Naval Weapons Station up there at China Lake doing some fantastic cutting edge stuff, cruise missile technology, and those things are going on. We have Scale Composites locally doing a lot of composite technology, which is new. We have SpaceX, which is a private one putting a private entity putting things into space now. This area is the growth center for aviation's future, and this is the area I think that as a nation we need to be concentrating some of our effort and taking this technology. And as we all know, with the space program from Apollo years ago, out of these technologies, we the private sector are going to reap some of the benefits of that.
Thank you, Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Baker, president of Anatase Products. Anatase Products, located in the beautiful mountains of Tehachapi, California, in eastern Kern County, is home to some of the most innovative and specialized technologies in the world, including those at the U.S. Naval Air Warfare Center, Weapons Division at China Lake, Edwards Air Force Base, as well as Stratolaunch, launching satellites capable of delivering multiple orbits in a single flight to space. And it is Anatase Products that has provided the manufactured devices, and the president, Scott Baker of Anatase Products, Marine Corps veteran, reactivated on 9/11 to monitor threats to the homeland, is carrying on a tradition of providing for the security of the United States by manufacturing every kind of fastener on anything that flies, as well as providing a full testing destructive laboratory. Contact Anatase Products, now in business for 30 years, at 661-822-6873, located at 1314 Goodrich Drive in Tehachapi, for your manufacturing and testing needs today.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the last few minutes of the broadcast. I have been really jubilant about the fact that this, I believe, cloud over our president and over the nation has been lifted. I just, again, think it's just thrilling that not a single American, nobody in America, nobody in the Trump, nobody on Team Trump, not the VP, and certainly not our president, who I believe loves our country, releases his salary out to help pay for infrastructure issues and national security and defense, who basically doesn't take a salary and works night and day. Just really happy and still on a high about all of that, but really sad that throughout the day today, since this morning, my phone, are you playing that siren? Yeah. My phone has been going off in a siren. I have the app so that every time a rocket or missile lands in Israel, and again, just outside the city of Tel Aviv, a large, huge metropolitan area inside Israel, where, civilians live and work and try to enjoy their life every day, rockets landed. I mean, there have been numerous rockets. I don't even know. I didn't even have time to count, on my app, all the rockets or missiles that fell today inside Israel. And I read here that an entire family, one rocket just landed on a house. Apparently everyone in the family, including the baby, all 7 people were injured. All of their beloved pets were killed. And that's really sad, because now the children's animals have all died of their wounds. and the apparently MDA teams, that's Israel ambulance team, also tried to save all the animals, but they couldn't. So anyway, Netanyahu has cut his visit short with the President of the United States. He was here in the country today, and President Trump said he stands by America's quote-unquote cherished ally, Israel. And he says, President Trump said today that my administration will always stand in solidarity with our Jewish brothers and sisters, and we will always stand strong with our cherished friend and partner, the state of Israel. As Israel has numerous rockets land in Israel, and one entire family has been severely wounded. Their pets have all died. Many people have now gone to the hospital due to just the constant harassment of these missiles. So many people now in southern Israel are suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome, just mentally, and emotionally. This takes a toll, that it happens every week. And again, this is coming from Gaza. Remember, this is the place where under George W. Bush, pressure on Ariel Sharon, that government, as Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, he moved every man, woman, child, baby, cat, dog, pet of every Jewish family, moved them out of the Gaza Strip so that Palestinians could, have their little state there in Gaza. And what did they do? They made it into a haven of numerous terrorist organizations. Numerous terrorist organizations are thriving in the Gaza Strip, and they target Israel every week. Thank you, President George W. Bush, for pressuring the Israeli government to give up land for peace. It's never worked. It never will. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll leave you today with a clip from the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, today.
I have a simple message to Israel's enemies. We will do whatever we must do to defend our people and defend our states. After this meeting, I will return home ahead of schedule to lead the people of Israel and the soldiers of Israel. But before I go, Mr. President, it was so kind of you to invite me to come here. It was so important for me to come here to the White House and to thank you. Mr. President, over the years, Israel has been blessed to have many friends who sat in the Oval Office. But Israel has never had a better friend than you. You show this time and again. You show this when you withdrew from the disastrous nuclear deal with Iran. I remember in one of our first meetings you said, this is a horrible deal. I will leave it. You said it, you did it. You showed it when you restored sanctions against a genocidal regime that seeks to destroy the one and only Jewish state. You said, I will restore those sanctions. You said it, and you did it. You showed that when you recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital and moved the American embassy there and gave us a tremendous ambassador. You said it, you did it. And you've showed it once again today, Mr. President, with your official proclamation recognizing Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, this is truly a historic day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to that issue regarding the Golan Heights. I was so pleased that President Trump has finally we have a president who has recognized Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Of course, Israel was attacked by several Muslim Arab nations in 1967, and she successfully won back what was, I believe, essentially going to be Israel's to begin with in 1948. But of course, when the Muslim armies attacked Israel, they took from 48 to 67 the Golan Heights and used to, up there on the heights, used to attack the Jewish communities, the families that lived down below. So when Israel was able to take back what was originally, I believe, mandated to Israel to begin with under the British Balfour Declaration of 1917 and the mandate, I'm just so glad that President Trump isn't going to ask Israel to give up the Golan Heights, land for peace. It doesn't work. And we have tomorrow on the broadcast, very special guest, director Jeff Dobby. He lives in Jerusalem. He comes back and forth between the United States Congress and the Israeli Knesset and working on legislation and leaders in both countries. He is going to be my guest on the program tomorrow, Tuesday. We're going to talk about this issue and so much more on the Denice Gary Show tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back with you tomorrow. Appreciate you. Thank you. Share this broadcast out. Let's get the word out far and wide. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Denice Gary Show. Intelligent Talk Media.